Hey, it is Dr. Kre. Come on in the room. Tonight we're going to do our Dr. Kre and Me show. And we're going to talk about 5 signs that you may have fibromyalgia. So come on. It is 7 o'clock and it's so dark outside. It's like, my Lord. Did y'all adjust to falling back okay? I really love waking up in the morning to the sun. I don't like quite getting off work so late at night. Well, it's not late. I don't like getting off work so late that the sun is down. So now I feel like I'm at work longer than what I am, but really it's like 5:06. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's late. So, hey, come on in the room. Hey, Dave. Hey, Denise. We're going to talk about fibromyalgia, 5 signs that you may have fibromyalgia. I think, Dave, you requested when I did my list a long time ago about the signs of fibromyalgia. So we're going to get started in about 2 more minutes. Are you guys having a good day today? I went to the nursing home tonight, so I'm a tad bit tired. But I'm going to do this, and I'm going to eat, and I'm going to kick my feet up. So I hope you're taking time out of your schedule to relax and factor in some relaxation, because that is so terribly important. So important. So come on in the room. Oh yeah, honey, that sounds like the way of the land for all of us. So we're gonna get started in about probably like 1 minute. 5 signs that you may have fibromyalgia, and we all may need some vitamins because this time change is crazy. So tag a friend, share the post. Let's get some knowledge learned here. Let's see, it's almost. Hey Tanya, how are you? Okay, usually I can change my screen to see as y'all come in, but Facebook is being difficult. Okay, let's just get started. Everybody else can catch the replay. It's Dr. Kre, guys. I am your board certified family medicine physician, and I specialize in what's important to you through my educational tips, my one-on-one counseling, my telehealth, my telemedicine. Just started that recently. My educational tips, I said, and just living on you guys. I help you learn to live a healthier, happier, well-balanced you. So when you know better, we can do better. So I'm here to give you a couple of little nuggets, not hold you too long, and to teach you more about your body. So let's get started. 5 reasons or signs that you may have fibromyalgia. Oh, Dave said, before you start, do you need an appointment for the flu shot? No, you don't need. In my office, you don't. You just come on in, let the girls know that you're there for the flu shot, and they'll get you back and get you done. So you should be fine. If you want to come tomorrow, you can. Hey y'all, welcome. We're just not getting started. Tonight we're talking about 5 signs. And I always give you a bonus. 5 signs that you may have fibromyalgia. So first things first. Fibromyalgia has a very bad stigma, very bad connotation around a lot of medical practices and all. I have had people that have fibromyalgia. I try and figure out how to treat them. We go through all these methods, and then I say, hey, well, I need to send you to the rheumatologist. And they're like, well, we don't treat fibromyalgia. So I'm like, well, I need to send you to the pain management doctor. Some of them may not treat it. So it's very, very hard. Let's know fibromyalgia is a disease of pain. So you have these trigger points, or you hurt in very, very, very random places. Hey, Natalie. Thanks for joining. So you hurt in all these weird places when you have fibromyalgia. It's very non-specific. And fibromyalgia is diagnosed as a diagnosis of exclusion. So what does that mean? A diagnosis of exclusion means that we have checked you for everything else. We don't know what it is. You have these tender points. You have one of so many tender points positive, so that, hey, you must have fibromyalgia. So you come in with all these, especially if you're young, you got a lot of vague pain. The pain is really vague. Like, oh, I just hurt all over, or I hurt right here in the inside of my elbow, or I hurt right here on my collarbone. Like places that you're not moving enough that you should really be hurting at. Or I hurt on the inside of my knee. Like not your knee joint, but the place inside of your knee. So there are specific tender points that are specific for fibromyalgia. So like I'm saying, like it really is, but you have to have, I think it's 11 points. You have to have so many of them hot or light up to say, yes, you have that diagnosis. But before you get to that point, your doctor should be checking you for lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, regular osteoarthritis, all kind of those diseases that you can actually draw blood for. You can draw what's called a rheumatoid panel, and it says yes or no to lupus, yes or no to rheumatoid arthritis, yes or no to all of these tons of diseases. If that comes back negative and you like, but I still hurt, consider that you may have some fibromyalgia. So number one, somebody type number one. Hey, Keisha, how you doing? Number one, fibromyalgia can cause joint pain and stiffness. I know you're like, well, joint pain and stiffness, that's regular arthritis. That's any kind of arthritis. That's just getting old. However, if you have fibromyalgia, it's classic. Whenever somebody says, I got some joint pain or I'm aching here, my back hurts, my leg hurts, my knees hurt, I want to know, well, how do you feel when you first wake up in the morning? Because with people with arthritis, first thing in the morning, you're super achy, you're hurting, you feel like you just need, you the Tin Man, you know, on the Wizard of Oz, and you want to slide some oil on you. And if you get enough oil, you can get enough movement in your body, and you feel like you can just get on up. So if you're like, oh, if I could just get on up, hey, Tremelia, if I get on up, then I can get going and stay going, I'm fine. But as soon as I slow down, then that's just it. So regular arthritis, it has those tendencies. So you sit for a little while, you get stiff, you need some help getting up, but once you get moving, you're fine. Fibromyalgia pain is such that, hey, I got this joint pain and this stiffness, but it's not improved with ambulation or anything else, any movement that you do in the day. Hey, Matt. Hey, Zoe. Zoe's watching tonight, y'all, and she's very excited about it. So, and I'm sure you guys hear that. Ari is down here with me. My dog is watching too, and she's making a lot of noise. I'm sorry. So somebody type down joint pain and stiffness that does not get better as you move and does not get better as you ambulate. Number two is exhaustion. So I know we were just talking, me and Dave were just talking about how we were kind of tired from the day. So you know the tiredness that you feel once you have gone through a long day of work, sat in traffic, come home. You really didn't get a good night's rest last night because time went back this weekend. So you still kind of adjusting. Well, this is exhaustion. That's being tired. Let's talk about being exhausted. Where you're like, okay, no matter what I do, no matter how I try and move or how I try and get up and go on, I just don't feel like I never can get enough hours at night. I never can seem to get enough rest. Well, that's when you tip over into exhaustion. And people with fibromyalgia can have what's called chronic fatigue syndrome. Hey, Aisha, thank you. Chronic fatigue syndrome is very hard to treat. And I'm always like, well, oh, let's check your B12. Check your B12. Get a person B12. We should pep you up. Doesn't pep these people up. Check your vitamin D. We're going to replace your vitamin D. They don't get better. Check your iron. Iron is fine. Check all your labs. Everything is fine and does not actually reveal a sign that you should actually be this tired and you should actually be this sore. So if you're like, man, I got exhaustion to the point of no matter how much I rest, I never can get enough rest. I never feel rested enough. You may have what's called chronic fatigue syndrome. So someone put number 2, exhaustion / chronic fatigue syndrome. So number 3 is muscle spasms. So hey, now how many of you on average do you usually have muscle spasms? I can go a whole month and not have a single muscle spasm. Well, that's because I don't have fibromyalgia. People with fibromyalgia, every day they get some, tightening up in their back or their legs. And they're like, man, I keep getting these Charlie horses. What in the world is going on? Why am I having all these Charlie horses? Well, you may have fibromyalgia. So one of the things that when you first get diagnosed, your doctor may start you off with muscle relaxers. Muscle relaxers can make you very sleepy. And after you've been on one class for so long, a lot of times you have to change to a different class. You have to change to a different type of muscle relaxer. So after so long, you're like, well, I've been trying all these muscle relaxers and none of that is working. So it very well could be that you have fibromyalgia, because now it's normal to have muscle spasms. It is not normal to have muscle spasms. If you're having muscle spasms that much on a regular basis, you need to talk to your doctor about could you have fibromyalgia, one. Two, that he or she also needs to check your electrolytes, your calcium, your magnesium, your potassium. All of those, if they're out of whack in any given time, that can cause you to have muscle cramps as well. So number one is joint pain and stiffness. That doesn't go away. Number two is exhaustion. And number three is muscle spasms that just last for a very long time. So somebody can type number two. Tanya, you type number two, exhaustion, and number three, muscle spasms. Thanks, Dave. You're doing great. So number two, exhaustion, and then number three is muscle spasms. Number four is changes in your bowels or bowel issues. That can be going to the bathroom frequently, having diarrhea, or it can be constipation. Or it can be swinging back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That is what we call irritable bowel syndrome. So when you can just swing back and forth, there are medicines out there to help irritable bowel syndrome. I find in my practice it's much easier to treat the irritable bowel person who has constipation predominantly. So they're more constipated than they are not. I can give you something. You can take it on a regular enough basis to kind of get your gut going. But if it's diarrhea, it is so hard to slow you down, because I don't want to swing you that way and give you constipation. You know, if you're constipated, you probably don't mind going a little bit more frequently. But if you got diarrhea, you do not want to be constipated. So that's kind of a fine balance. Is that if you have irritable bowel syndrome, plus you're aching, plus you're tired all the time, plus your joints are stiff and you're spasming up, these could all be signs that you have fibromyalgia. So you swing it back and forth, back and forth. So number three is, what did we say? Exhaustion was number two. Number three is muscle spasms. Number four is bowel issues. Number five is depression. So fibromyalgia and depression run hand in hand. So a lot of times, that's why a lot of practice is shunned away from it, because there is a direct correlation with irritable bowel disease and depression. A direct correlation between fibromyalgia and depression. So oddly enough, a lot of people with fibromyalgia end up being on all of these pain medicines. They're on narcotics. They're on muscle relaxers. They're on nerve medicines so that they won't have nerve pain. When actuality, they need to be on an antidepressant. So you treat that depression, then your aches, you don't hurt as bad. So the fibromyalgia tends to follow suit. So just so you know, if you do think you have fibromyalgia, do you need to be checking to see if you have any depression? So you have to know that these go hand in hand. Isn't that right, Dr. Dion? Dr. Dion is a psychiatrist. So that is the biggest concern when I hear that, because depression can have you physically hurt as well. People don't believe that. They're quick to, especially in society today, we're quick to say, I'm not depressed. That's not what's wrong with me. It's something else that's wrong with me. And I'll be on 7 different medicines to treat all the signs of depression, when I could be on one antidepressant and make all those other 7 symptoms better. Bring all those 7 symptoms back up. So just know one of the biggest treatments of fibromyalgia is an antidepressant. And you could really be selling yourself short if you're refusing to take an antidepressant because you have in your mind, I'm not depressed, I don't need that. And which is the same thing for chronic fatigue syndrome. I find that treating somebody with an antidepressant actually helps their chronic fatigue as well. So a lot of times when I get fibromyalgia patients, I try my best. I hit it hard. I'm like, man, if I can't control it, and I try them on an antidepressant, I then refer them to a psychiatrist, and I also try and refer them to either a rheumatologist or a pain doctor, and see if we can get them to help, weigh in. But the wait is so long. I know in Birmingham it is. The wait is so long for a rheumatologist. You can wait 6 months. So what is a person supposed to do in 6 months? And I'm just throwing everything I can at them, trying to keep them stable, because 6 months is a long time to hurt. Physically, mentally, however. So I'm just like, let's get the referral in and we'll just start trying medicine. Try this for a month at a time, we'll follow up. Try this a month at a time, we'll follow up. So just know that fibromyalgia is real, but it is definitely what we call in medicine a diagnosis of exclusion. We have excluded that you do not have rheumatoid arthritis, that you do not have lupus, that you don't have any of those anti-inflammatory illnesses or autoimmune diseases that can cause your body to attack itself. So, number one, quick review. Number one, joint pain and stiffness that doesn't get better as the day goes on. Number two, exhaustion or chronic fatigue syndrome. Number three, muscle spasms that come routinely. On a regular basis, we just spasming up. Number four, bowel issues that's related to irritable bowel syndrome and swinging back and forth, back and forth. And number five, depression. So if you're physically hurting and you're mentally sad, you may need an antidepressant that will make you feel physically better and mentally better. And that's okay. So I promise a bonus are those tender points or those hot points. Like I said earlier, you do have hot points. They're like random places in the inside of your elbow. Like if you touch there, somebody touch you on your elbow and you like jump off your chair, that's not supposed to be hurting. That place is not really supposed to be hurt. Right here on your clavicle bone, we touch that and you like jump out of your life, that's not supposed to be hurt. So there are certain signs. Now, if you touch my neck, I'm holding my head up all day long. So my neck, there may be some tender. My shoulders, I'm moving them all day long. You're moving your shoulders a lot. So you can get arthritis there. You can get some joint achiness and you're like, okay, that's not right. Wrists, okay, I can see that. Knees, hips, all of that. But if you're starting to hurt in places that are like what I call small joints or places that just you're not exercising the inside of your elbow on a regular basis unless you're playing baseball, basketball, or something. But if you're a regular person and all you're doing is getting up, going to work, going home, going to church, getting up, going to work, that routine, then yes, you may very well need to have checked. What I recommend before you storm into your doctor's office, though, and say, I know I got fibromyalgia. I watched Dr. Kre and I got it. I would recommend you looking on the internet and searching fibromyalgia. Hey, Aubrey, how you doing? Fibromyalgia and the tender points or the trigger points that go along with fibromyalgia. And it'll say on there are 17 points. You need 11 positives. Out of those, count up and see how many you have. If you really don't have that many, then you may not want to be storming and say, I've been on WebMD. So WebMD plus Dr. Kre make a whole diagnosis. No, don't do that. Go and do a little bit of research. So that's something that yes, you can look and say, hey, I heard in these strange places, but I looked on it. I looked it up, and it'll show you a body of a man, and I have red spots, like little circles on there, say these are the body parts. If you hurt here, you could have fibromyalgia. So, like we said, joint pain that doesn't get better, exhaustion or chronic fatigue syndrome, muscle spasms that are very routine and regularly, bowel issues or irritable bowel syndrome, and number 5, depression. And, of course, knowing where those tender points are so that you can articulate that very well when you go see your doctor. Are there any questions? Make sure to share the video. And next week, I don't know, I always decide what we're going to talk about on the day of. So if you have something that you want us to talk about or to learn about, please put it in the chat and we'll talk about it. So she said, I'm okay. Just got a little issue going on. When are you coming back? I'll be back next week. I was there tonight. I just left. I left there about 6 something, but they didn't tell me you had something going on. I'll call over there and see what's going on with you, okay? If all hearts and minds are clear, like the preacher says. Okay. I'm Dr. Kre. I'm a board certified family medicine physician, and I specialize in what's important to you. You. And through my healthy tips, my one-on-one coaching, my telehealth, I started telemedicine. I started doing some telemedicine visits in my office in the last couple of weeks, and we're very excited about it. So through my telehealth, through my educational tips, I help you learn to live a healthier, happier, well-balanced you. So the old people used to say, when you know better, you do better. So my goal for you is to help you to know better so that you can do better. And when you do better, you live healthier, you live happier, you live balanced lives. And that's what we're about, all about the balance. So I will see you next Monday at 7 p.m. and talk to you soon. Oh, follow me on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Dr. Kre. That's DOCTORKRE. Follow me on Twitter at Dr. Kre. DOCTORKRE. Have a good one.